You're listening to Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio with Rick Thompson, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, welcome to Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio. I am your host, Rick Thompson. This show is about sobriety and recovery. Each week, we discuss a different topic relating to addiction with the aim that you can gain some insight, guidance, and hope from our discussions. We focus the show in 3 different segments. 1, the viewpoint of the families dealing with the family members suffering from alcoholism and addiction so they may assist them in obtaining treatment. 2, the psychological trauma and emotional damage alcoholics and addicts and their families experience. 3, the role of the insurance companies and associate providers and their part in the recovery process. Welcome to the broadcast. Tonight we have a very special guest in the studio, actually guests, Mr. Nick Perkins and Mr. Patrick LaRue. Nick got sober 8 years ago while doing time in a state correctional facility after battling untreated alcoholism and addiction all of his life. He gives back by speaking on panels in prisons and going down to Skid Row to encourage people struggling with the disease. And by passing on his message, he has hopes for them following his path and having a bright future without the influence of drugs or alcohol. Now the proud owner of Manifest Recovery, one of the most prestigious sober living homes in the Los Angeles area, Nick takes great pride in helping many fellow alcoholics and addicts achieve sobriety. Hello, Nick. Hello, Patrick. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, Rick. How are you, sir?
Doing well.
Okay. Nick, I would like to start off and ask if you could share with us your personal story and background.
Yeah, I've been sober for about almost 8 years now. I guess I would start with, growing up. I grew up in a good home. My parents were divorced, but it wasn't like I, grew up in a crack house or anything. I grew up in a good home, played football, and I guess you could say in high school I started drinking and, recreationally smoking weed. So what I did is I basically started, drinking on the weekends and stuff like that, and then slowly but surely it kind of spiraled and turned into me drinking too much or me using other drugs. Fast forward into I guess college area. At the time I guess I wasn't going to college, but because of the drugs and alcohol. But I ended up while all my friends were in college, I would be drinking and using drugs and getting out of control. By the age of 18, I actually blacked out at a frat party, sorority party, and I actually ended up going to jail. Didn't really remember what I did. Didn't really understand that I had a problem with drugs or alcohol. And at the time, my parents, kind of co-signed, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and all that good stuff. And
a little bit of enabling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, enabling. And, that's one of the biggest things with parents today with, children suffering from, drug and alcohol addiction is, the enabling. We think, as parents, we want to help the child and, get them on the right track. But sometimes, cutting them off and not enabling them is the best thing to do. So, yes, I was enabled, the first time I really got in some big trouble. I ended up doing a year. I robbed somebody, didn't remember doing it, and I was blacked out. And
was this in jail or was this an actual penitentiary?
This was jail. I ended up doing what's called a county lid, and I ended up it was a full year. Got sentenced to a full year, and then I did a little bit over 9 months of good time for having good behavior in there. So it's called the county lid. So I didn't really realize at the time that I had any drug addiction or alcoholism. My dad is a recovering alcoholic, and I didn't really think that I was an alcoholic. So fast forward, I moved to California. I'm doing mortgage and real estate at the time, and I'm doing opioids, the Norcos. So I get started with taking these opioids as a cure for a hangover, during the day because I'm drinking every night, partying and I'm doing these these Norcos, easily prescribed by doctors. If you just want them, the doctors were prescribing them to you. So I ended up doing these during the day, and then I got hooked to them. And then I'm doing mortgage and real estate. I'm doing phone sales back before the crash. We were doing mortgage and real estate. I think I was 20 years old around that time, and I ended up going to jail, getting in trouble again. So there's a lot of different signs, a lot of hospital visits, a lot of drunk driving while on these pills that I should have been incarcerated for all the times I'm putting others in danger by being on these pills or drunk driving. So I ended up going to jail for possession of cocaine. So back then when the mortgage boom stopped, I started selling cocaine and doing it here and there to wake up off the opioids when we were partying, and I had a half a gram on me. Now back then it was a felony. Now it's a misdemeanor. So I ended up doing they wanted to give me another 36 months upstate, and I ended up doing I got a plea bargain for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So while I was in there, we were on 23-hour lockdown, and Theo Lacey in Orange County and these Alcoholics Anonymous guys came in, and I would do anything to get out of my cell because it was a 23-hour lockdown.
Right.
So I ended up going to this panel, and these guys started talking about sobriety and masking your emotions through drugs and alcohol, and the whole building things up and breaking them down and being destructive. And I started identifying with all the things the guy was saying on that panel. So I went back to my bunk and I started.
What was the first thing that you caught that you held on to that rung with you as far as where you were at?
I would say when he started speaking about building things, doing very well, because part of the alcohol, I've learned part of the addiction and alcoholism is that we as alcoholics and addicts, we build things up and become successful or do really well in our relationships and our job or whatever, and then we tear it all down. So when he mentioned that, I realized and identified with that, and realized that we had something in common. So, just like we were talking about before, it's not just, alcoholics and addicts aren't just, someone in a dark alley shooting dope, or...
That's correct.
Or a bum on the street. It's, your son, it's your neighbor, it's your daughter, it's your cousin, it's your uncle, it's
your doctor, it's your lawyer.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, I realized at that point that I had a problem. I got out, I got released, and I met Hobie from Baywatch, Jeremy Jackson, and I was in a nightclub, and he was doing this Ed Hardy fashion show, and a buddy of mine that was taking me to AA meetings while I was on bail, just for my court card, because I wanted to show the judge, hey, I'm going to AA meetings, but I didn't really listen to what they were saying. So I ran into this guy with the guy that was taking me to these meetings while I was on bail, and with Jeremy Jackson. And Jeremy said, I think he had 8-9 years at the time, and he said, are you willing to do anything it takes to stay sober and get sober? And at that point, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I said, yeah, I'll do it, whatever it takes. Just tell me what to do. So we ended up going to this meeting on Charlie Street down there in Costa Mesa. It was a drunk intake unit. They held AA meetings there. And then we went to a nightclub in Los Angeles, and we were doing an Ed Hardy fashion show. And, I turned and we were headed back after the fashion show, and I said, how do you live this life, this great life of, being able to do these fashion shows and not drink and not pick up a drug? I said, I really don't believe you that you're sober. And he said, if you work these steps and if you really build a strong foundation of sobriety, you can go anywhere and do anything you want. And I wanted what he had. So I ended up working the steps with him, and we ended up finishing the steps, and then I was able to stay sober 8 years after that.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And you look great. I mean, you're not twitching. You don't have Tourette's. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Patrick, being that you are his brother and business partner, let's hear from you. Let's get a little background on you.
Okay. Like Nick said in the beginning as well, I grew up well. I come from my father was a physician and a stay-at-home mother and active, but as I was growing up, there was always little indicators that I wasn't good with me, and I always needed some sort of outside influence, whether it be people, attention from people, or any attention, really, good or bad. And as I got older, I started experiencing maybe more. I started wanting to quote unquote fit in with the cool people in high school, and
right.
Started drinking at parties, and then it quickly escalated. In the 4 years of high school, and I got multiple underage drinkings. I got lucky. I never was. I never arrested for possession until I was older. But as I got through high school by the skin of my teeth, and then went to college, and that's kind of where I went to college not knowing what I wanted to do. I just knew that in my area, that's what you have to do. You have to go to college. Of course.
Right.
So when I went to college, it was just another reason to party. I joined a frat, I'm drinking 24/7.
Yeah, they don't do anything there but read Bible verses.
Exactly. I mean, that's that's why I joined. I wanted to, but I just escalated quickly. Actually, the first real scare I ever had, but it didn't stop me, of course, was I was at a sorority party and having a great time. I woke up, intubated and everything. I woke up on life support at my parents' bedside, and my hometown was Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I was in Pittsburgh, right outside Pittsburgh, so it was about a 5-hour drive, and my parents were called about 4 in the morning. I went into cardiac arrest from blood alcohol levels of 0.396, and I had Xanax and cocaine in my system as well. So
Jesus.
Yeah, that was my first wake-up call, but I didn't pay attention to it. I was mad that I got in trouble, rather than now I look back on it, that was God trying to slap me in the head.
You bet it was.
Yeah, I appreciate, I don't, I was speaking to someone yesterday, actually, a nurse. I used to work in a hospital, a nurse I worked with, and, she said she felt bad for me. I was living in Kensington, which is pretty, have you ever heard of Kensington, Pennsylvania?
No.
Philadelphia, it's the Badlands. I mean, if people out there know of Philadelphia, of Kensington. I was living there, and the nurse was telling me how she cried when she left me, and I said, everything happens for a reason. I was able to make it through that so I can help someone else.
Exactly.
I wish I didn't have to go down that path, but I did, and life, and let me get back. I got off track there. I was 21 when I went to first treatment, and then I was in and out of treatment. Maybe like once every couple of years I'd go back. I'd get a month or two under my belt just to make my parents happy, to appease my parents, and like Nick said, and you agreed as well, the enabling. What really kind of got my my ass in gear was completely being cut off. My parents kind of wiping.
Right.
Listen, we tried. My parents are tired of stressing. They have their own life to live, and I see it a lot. The parents don't know what to do, and they keep trying to give them, help their children do this, do that. But I think a lot of times the tough love, I love you, but I'm not going to help you, is the best way.
Well, it's the only way you can save them. If not, you'll enable them right into a casket.
That's the thing.
I've never seen it end up any differently.
That's the thing. So, I was down in Florida. I had, a few months down there again, and, things weren't working out with my fiance at the time, who was not like us, but, so we broke up. And then I moved out here, and since I've been out here, I just I just love, I met up with Nick out here, and we kind of just hit the ground running, helping people and helping out where we can. And it doesn't matter. A lot of people out here, all they care about is if you have insurance, the good insurance. Nick and I go out, we go anywhere. We're actually starting to work, trying to get some things in the works, trying to help inmates get, eased back into society.
Right.
Yeah, the inmates that had alcohol or drug addiction, alcoholism or drug addiction.
Right.
People that, no insurance anywhere. We go down, try to help and spread the word. No matter what, if you want help, no matter where you are, there's help out there. Obviously, you can get, sober or clean anywhere. Nick did it in incarcerated. I was incarcerated a few times in Philadelphia, and, it was not until I really surrendered that it's really
Yes, that's what it takes.
It really is. It's
That's it.
and it feels good to surrender, because a lot of the crap, we'll keep it clean. A lot of the crap I worry about, I mean, I just let it play out. I let it play out no matter. I mean, I'll always do what I can to better my outcome or better my situation. But, I'm not going to stress and worry over, because
Well, you have no control. There's no control, and you have no control over the outcome, and what you think is going to happen never happens anyway.
Yeah,
At least it is
exactly.
in my situation.
No, you're 100% correct.
Right.
I mean, the worrying, the spiritual experience, I go to a non-denominational, church, a couple times a month, and it's funny how it always correlates with what's going on, in my life. It seems like, I remember the very first time I went out here, it was talking about the book of Jonah, how he didn't believe and he got swallowed up by the whale and blah, blah, blah. But
Right.
It's funny how, the worry and the belief, just have to have faith. But, it's not getting any better out there at all. And it's a shame, because people lose sight of this not even industry. This program was built to help people. This, the treatment facilities and meetings were more or less, Bill W. and everything. But, people are losing sight of the main purpose, to save someone's life. You save one person's life, that you don't realize how far that extends. The mom's not worrying anymore.
Right.
The brother, the sister, the father, they're able to sleep well at night and sleep in peace finally. So, yeah. I mean, it's just it's a uphill battle, but as long as you have people fighting that battle, it's gonna work out. For someone, it's gonna save a life. If you can save a life, you're doing God's work. So
That's right. That's it. That's why we're all here.
yeah.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. I would like to take a moment and talk to you about the Villa Treatment Center. Their integrated substance abuse and dual diagnoses program rests on foundational principles of personal responsibility, structure, and service. Whether you are at the beginning of your recovery journey or farther along the road, the Villa Treatment Center offers an individual plan to suit all of your recovery needs. Detoxification by doctors specializing in addiction medicine, residential treatment, transitional living, day treatment, and full care outpatient services are available. Please call 818-505-6900 for further information. That's 818-505-6900 and begin your recovery now. The website for Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio is www.latalkradio.com. Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio is on Channel 1. We are broadcasting live from our studios every Sunday at 6 p.m. West Coast time. All of our shows are archived on the www.latalkradio.com site and can be accessed 24/7. Our call number is 323-203-0815. That's 323-203-0815. And now back to our show. And we're back. Okay, I want to ask you guys a question. What are your thoughts on the serious global problem affecting health and the well-being of all the addicts?
Well, the overall, I mean, it's a epidemic. I mean, it's people,
That it is.
it's not getting, like I said, it's not getting any better. And as I mentioned to you before we came in here briefly, the drugs are getting stronger, and the alcoholism, the alcohol, it's crazy. Where I grew up in Pennsylvania, you have to go to a state store or out
Right,
here.
exactly, because there's blue laws.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Out here, you can go to a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It really is, and it really. And like I said, I was talking earlier about the carfentanil, the new drug that's 1,000 times stronger than morphine and 100 times stronger than fentanyl. And people don't know what they're getting. I mean, sometimes it can be mixed in with any type of substance at all, and
Right.
it's. I think they need to create. We need to focus more on spreading the word and spreading the word of solution as well. Or there is a better way. There's a way to get a upper hand with the families and everything. And early warning signs. If they're doing this, you have to get them into some sort of medical treatment. I think. I mean, meetings work too, but unfortunately these days. It's a difficult thing. There's no right way. Every person is different. Everybody goes through their own path. That's the scary thing about alcoholism and addiction is there's no right way there's no cure for it. There is or is just a daily
reprieve.
There it is.
That's
exactly.
it. Right.
Surrender and just have faith. On I like one thing. Accept what was. What is it? It's about acceptance. Like, accept what was, have faith in what will be, and let go of. I forget what it is, but just have faith that everything's going to work out. As long as you don't put some sort of mind-altering substance in your body, your day's going to be better than it was, the day before. Yeah. So,
what are your thoughts on this, Nicholas?
Thoughts on serious global problem. I think, drug addiction and alcoholism is very powerful. And then to begin, what was it back in, I believe I was watching a special on this on TV recently about the opioids and, about them, if you're in football, you're in college or high school or whatever, you break your foot or injure yourself, the doctors are prescribing these pills, and even for people that don't have the disease of alcoholism and drug addiction, they're getting hooked on these pills, and so that's where it starts. That's where it starts is the, part of the epidemic is the, the opioids. Is,
right, the prescription medication that they're being administered by
and
doctor.
Then, they can't get that anymore, so they start turning to heroin, and it's cheaper and it's the same substance, and it's just not synthetic, it's the actual substance itself, so they start, shooting that. All of a sudden you got your football player that, broke his, ankle, getting prescribed from a doctor, the pharmaceutical sales are through the roof. Yeah. They're making billions of dollars.
Insane. Yeah, it's crazy.
And, it's a money thing for them, so, we talked about going to the White House, on the 18th and 19th, marching to the White House about the opioid epidemic here in America, and hopefully we'll be able to, put a dent in this, hopefully.
May I say something real quick?
Of course.
It's funny, it's... they decriminalized it so much, I think they need to... they got to do something different, but it's crazy. I've heard before that kids now. I actually heard about someone in a facility we work with, Cal Coast out in Orange County, a great place down there. But these kids, no matter what, it's they can get it wherever they need to, and you know what I mean. Like I heard, from some of the staff over there that I didn't know this, but kids can order it now off Craigslist. I believe they said the kids can go on Craigslist.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's
what some of the staff over there. They're a wealth of knowledge over there.
And there's code words on the internet for it.
Well, yeah, of course, there have to be.
You learn something every day about this, and that's a thing that changes every day. It's always something new. So
it's interesting. I'd like to provide a little information that I received from the Claire Foundation. Unintentional overdose deaths from prescription pain meds more than quadrupled since 1999. More people died from drug overdose in 2014 than any year on record, and the majority of these deaths, more than 6 out of 10, involved an opioid. I'm sure that has increased dramatically, but statistics are always slow in coming in. Every day, 78 people die from an opioid-related overdose, and 580 people start using heroin every day. The face of addiction has changed. Not just addicts in dark alleys with syringes. Opioid addiction can start with adolescents getting wisdom teeth out and being prescribed medication that turns into abuse. You've got soccer moms and dads, pain meds after surgery, and on and on and on. There's $55 billion in health and social costs related to prescription opioid abuse every year, and $20 billion in emergency department and inpatient care for opioid poisonings. People's lives are destroyed. They lose their homes, their jobs, and in some cases leads to homelessness and separation of families. This is the scariest thing I've ever seen. I was just telling these guys out in the green room, my whole thing when I was a young kid is I loved girls, okay? And I was in a room with a bunch of guys at an Aerosmith show. And these guys were hammering heroin, and the second they did it, they vomited. And all the girls recoiled, and I went, that ain't going to get you a date. Right? And so that was it. That was it, period. And
of course.
So I never, it was all about that, thank God. But The one thing I would like to do is I would like Nick and Patrick to talk about what they do. That you guys have a sober living home. You're working with homeless people downtown. Mm-hmm. Tell us and tell the audience about that.
Yeah, so the sober living home, we started that about 16, 18 months ago. We do scholarship a lot of guys, so we don't actually pull a lot of profit out of there. But some of the profit we have seen, we've turned back into a music studio. So we're able to have these kids in LA that are creative, come in and use a music studio. And it's all about having fun in sobriety because
right.
I got sober. What was it? It's 8 years. I'm 30, so I was 22 years old. And I'm 1 year past the legal drinking age, and I'm thinking, my life's over. I'm never going to have fun again. But my life has been so abundant, and that's the message that we send to these kids, and anyone we can help any age, is that your life doesn't end. It just gets way, way better. And obviously, you'll have all kinds of life happens.
Yes.
It's not all fucking clouds and shit.
No, it certainly is not.
But we try to create a good environment to where we're able to help these people, and it's all male. We switch it to all male, and
it's prudent.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, right.
From a liability point.
Yeah. So we have the music studio, and then so what we're doing on Skid Row's, we go every week or two. We just go down there. We just got back we just went a few days ago. Mm-hmm. We just get a bunch of pizzas, a bunch of cookies, a bunch of if it's cold, usually in December when it's cold, we go get a bunch of gloves. Now, you can go to the 99-cent store and spend $400, get 400 pairs of gloves. So it's not really hard for people to go out there if you're thinking, hey, this is a big thing for me to go down on Skid Row and help people. It's really not. You go get the gloves, the beanies, and you just go talk to them, and show some love and support. So on October 1st, and by the way, a lot of people down there from good families that grew up. It's not just bums down there. Nope. It's not. It's a lot of people that could come from good homes. We just had a kid. He was in Cal Coast down in Orange County. He actually relapsed and went down to Skid Row, and he comes from a good family. So you never know, who it's going to be down there. It's we're helping everybody.
That rings a bell with me. When I was a kid on the street, I met a guy named Mike Thomas, who was like about, I think, 10 years older than I was. And his father created Mutual of New York.
Wow.
Okay, now we're talking Astro Bucks.
Yeah.
And Mike was a trip. He would go get stoned, and he would get on a plane, fly up, and he would go and walk into the boardroom with the whole board sitting there. He'd drop his old shoes and go, "Old man, I need new shoes," just to screw with him.
Wow.
And the thing was he ended up going insane. Mm-hmm. At 35, he died from an overdose of drugs, and he was a good man. He was an extremely smart guy, and he was, I loved him like a brother, So, and a lot of people don't understand, as we've seen, there's kids out there that come from homes and they go, well, well, there's a million reasons why. There's a lot of things that could be happening within the family dynamic that torqued them, there's who knows.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors. There's a lot of
and
a lot of people that Nick and I work with. Kind of touch on what Nick was saying. About kind of putting back into the sober home, the sober living. A lot of the kids, in their mind, it's going to be easy. Everything they'll do their 30, 45, 60 days in treatment and come out and everything will be okay. A lot of kids get disheartened when they get out and they're bored. Idle hands are devil's workshop. That's so. A lot of these kids, it's hard for them to get a job. Nick and I are trying to. We're actually in the works of getting a
staffing company.
Yeah, for to get the kids, kind of ease them back into society. Get well jobs, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But we try to keep them busy. We try to and a lot of people down on Skid Row. A lot of people in general, they're so beaten, they're so broken, they've been lied to, they've been pawned around. Yep. They just want someone that cares. All they want is someone that cares. I've had a kid recently. He's at the facility Cal Coast in San Juan Capistrano, and he's everybody there is shocked of how well he's doing. He in the very first day or two I went to see him, he was almost crying. He was in tears. He's God bless his soul. He's a former military. He served our country.
Really?
He has a few children, and he's been lied to and bullshitted, and people are shucking and jiving him.
Right.
And, he said no one's ever come, no one's ever cared, and his family's kind of cut him off and everything. So everything takes time, but for the most part, and even people in Skid Row, when we hand them the waters or tell them there's help out there, we hand out flyers because, like I said, we can work with anyone. If you want help, we can get you help. We have a website, nationwide recoverysolutions.com. We have an 800 number, 877 359-9576, and that's Nationwide Recovery Solutions. So
you want to read that number out again, Patrick?
Oh yeah, sorry. The number's going to be 877. I haven't called it in a while.
That's okay.
877-359-9576, and the website again is nationwiderecoverysolutions.com. But and the thing is, again, with the families, it all a lot of the kids travel out here to get a chance, and a lot of families don't know where the hell they're going, and that's why we speak to the families, we speak to mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers. We speak to as many people as we can to let them know the status, and we're there for people. But again, it comes down to, how bad they want it. You can't, you can't draw blood from a rock.
Yeah, if you don't want it, you're not going to listen. You're not going to hear it, man. You got to hit the wall, and you got to hit it hard.
Yeah.
And as we all know, most of the kids that come out of here, they're out here trying to chase that thing that's going to fix them, and they're already broken when they get here, and then they get into the machine. And that that'll tear your soul right out.
Sick,
it'll tear the soul right out of the frame.
Yeah.
It's just insane what goes on out here, man.
It's a lot of people are I don't know how they sleep at night. Honestly, I don't want to.
Sodom and Gomorrah, brother. These people are in the deep dark room, man. Where there's no windows, no doors, watching the blackness pour out of the darkness.
I feel bad when they have to, because I know eventually I'm to answer to my my higher power, my God. But I feel bad for them, and it's sick. It really is sick. All they want is money, money, money. And you do the right thing, you help people out, everything else will fall into place. Money or no money, it'll all fall into place.
Right.
I sleep well at night. I pray in the morning. I'm good with God. And Nick, I can speak for Nick, and I don't like speaking for him much, but I can speak, for Nick as well on this.
He's handsome.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That'll cost you $50.
Right. It's How much time sober time do you have? I'm actually coming up on 18 months myself now.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've got 8, right?
8 years, yeah.
8 years,
Okay, I've got 23, and I was in trouble.
Yeah.
Statistically, I should be dead, or I should be sitting somewhere like Pelican Bay, Pelican Bay with Born to Lose tattoos on my hand.
Exactly.
Well, that didn't happen.
You have a different reason. You're here for another reason. That's all.
Right, man. This is the best thing that I've ever done in my life. When I walked away from the music business and all of that, and said, I've been given a gift, and this is a gift, and that's exactly what it is. It's the greatest gift I've ever received in my life, and it is my duty to make sure that I give this gift away as often as I can to as many people as I can, because that's the only reason I'm sober, man. Because somebody sat me down when I didn't know where I was going, and they said, this works, but you're going to have to surrender everything that you've ever known, and you're going to have to walk in blind faith. And for guys like us, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know, right?
No way.
Fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown, of course.
Yeah, if there's not schematics, I don't even want to know anything about it, but yet here we are.
Yeah, exactly. And just like you said, spreading the message, helping anyone that asks for help at any time, So we like to do, and it's for us. We deal with a lot of people that are, rock bottom now. So every day that we're in service, it's a wake up call. Seeing these kids that are broken and beaten and just lost and empty, and it feels so good whenever you see them around in meetings, and they're picking up 30, 60, 90.
Yeah, it's great. It's
awesome.
Unbelievable.
It's awesome. It really feels good. Really feels good. So
we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. I would like to take a moment and talk to you about the Villa Treatment Center. Their integrated substance abuse and dual diagnoses program rests on foundational principles of personal responsibility, structure, and service. whether you are at the beginning of your recovery journey or farther along the road. The Villa Treatment Center offers an individual plan to suit all of your recovery needs. Detoxification by doctors specializing in addiction medicine, residential treatment, transitional living, day treatment, and full care outpatient services are available. Please call 818-505-6900 for further information. That's 818-505-6900 and begin your recovery now. The website for Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio is www.latalkradio.com. Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio is on Channel 1. We are broadcasting live from our studios every Sunday at 6 p.m. West Coast time. All of our shows are archived on the www.latalkradio.com site and can be accessed 24/7. Our call number is 323-203-0815. That's 323-203-0815. And now back to our show.
And we're back. Nick, could you give us some information on Manifest Recovery, please?
Yeah. So we are in the Los Angeles area, County, Hancock Park area. It's all male. We do work with IOPs in the area, so basically when a client comes out of detox and then they go into either residential treatment where they're monitored, they don't have their cell phones, and they're a higher level of care. After that, they're able to come to Manifest Recovery and really focus on getting back acclimated with the community, getting a job. We help with resume building. We have our music studio for the creative bunch, and then we do outings and stuff like that. We go to the beach, go camping, go golfing, and we kind of just, our whole thing is that we want to show these young guys that it's possible to have fun in sobriety, and you don't have to just keep getting high. And so a part of that, what I've done just with my relationships in Los Angeles County is I've helped a majority of the people that come through Manifest Recovery get jobs. My friends' restaurants, or as delivery service, or servers, or bussers and stuff like that, or in the kitchen. I've helped, sometimes help on set of movies and stuff like that. Just small little, get well jobs, we call them. With not a lot of responsibility to kind of, get, I think one of the biggest things is they get sober, and then there's a certain point where they just don't know how to live. So we we encourage them, hey, make your bed in the morning, do your chores. So we have a list of, the chores that they're supposed to do for that week, and we kind of help them get those life skills back. And not only with the life skills, help them with getting a job and resume building. And then we're actually starting the staffing company as well soon, because, again, I've done it on a small scale already, but I want to do it on a bigger scale with all the other treatment facilities that, I have relationships with. I have probably over 50 relationships with treatment facilities just on the West Coast, even more on the East Coast. So to integrate this, to make a change for after they're able to get sober, to help them get a job and reacclimate them. Our website, by the way, is www.manifest/recovery.com. It's MANIFEST/RECOVERY. I think I spelled that right.
Yeah, that's great, man.
.com.
See all that schooling paid off, man.
He has a few brain cells left. Right?
Just a few.
Hello. Hey. Yeah.
Hey.
So that's manifestrecovery.com, and the reason I wanted to call it Manifest Recovery is because I really got into The Secret and stuff like that, and really honing in on what
Secret,
the goals, your goals are. Thoughts become things.
That's right.
The energy, right?
Yeah, that's a big part of my life, and paired with the program, I've been able to really become successful, and with relationships and different things, just manifesting good things in your life. And another thing that we encourage, just because I've been doing this for fun and for free before the sober living, is that when you're able to get in an attitude of gratitude and you're able to write your gratitude list in the morning, it's been proven that grateful people are more successful. You know, so
That's true.
we just like to really encourage people and help with that. So I think that's all we got in Manifest Recovery.
Okay. There's some things I wanted to talk about in reference to parents. The way that you're going to stop, in my opinion, your children or other children connected to your children from becoming addicts is use common sense. Clean out your medicine cabinets. 60% of teens that get opioids get them from someone they know. Don't be that person. Understand the impact of trauma. If you see someone struggling with trauma or addiction, help them seek out treatment facilities and get professional help. There is strong correlation between trauma and SUD. Make sure as you researching treatment options that you choose a place that has qualified staff to attend to trauma. Talk to your kids and their parents. Teach good resiliency skills. Ask parents of your kids' friends to sign an abstinence pact. Parents agree to remove all drugs and alcohol from their homes when parents are not present when kids come to their homes. If you don't use your head, then you're going to come home one day because of your kid may have peer pressure because all of his buddies they're all doing these things and nobody knows because nobody knows. And if you're not monitoring what's going on in your medicine cabinet, then you don't know. And then one day you come home and then the most horrific experience that you're ever going to have in your adult life is going to take place. And you're going to have to live with that till the day you die. So don't do that. Listen to your kids. Talk to them. Talk to them. Don't talk to them about their baseball scores or any of that bullshit. Ask them what they're thinking and what they're feeling. What are you doing? Who are you seeing? Monitor them. There's a lot of stuff coming at kids these days. It amazes me how these kids, they don't interact with each other, right? You've got the phones. You've got the gaming, and that's like psychotic.
Yeah.
So you don't have people, like when we grew up, talking to each other. You know,
I'm happy about that. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't grow up in this generation.
Yeah, oh, God, what a nightmare.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't even know how the hell anybody gets a date.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right?
Off the internet. Off the internet.
Yeah, right. You got Bumble and all this other, which is insane because it's a candy factory, and there's always something better. And the one that you may pass over may be the one that could change your heart. Right.
Plus, I mean, these girls take 1,000 pictures and put the one best one up. So when you do see her, it's not the one that you see.
Right. Are you the aunt?
Yeah, right. You're not the same one in this picture.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but another thing I want to touch base on. Also, we're trying to start working. Like I said, we're trying to help the inmates. Getting released back in. Gradually get released back into society. And also, we're trying to focus on helping the military vets as well, because a lot of them, we already know how the VAs don't have a good rap.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, and these people,
organized.
Were ready to sacrifice their life for our country, and people just overlook them. So we're trying to come up with a program. We have a consultant, and I mean more or less just a friend of ours, but he's pretty hip with the nonprofit type deal. So we're trying to figure out how to help the vets that because the big thing is a lot of the drugs are underlying issue. A lot of people have depression, anxiety, personality disorders, and mental disorders, and a lot of these vets come back seeing shit over there that no human should have to see.
Right. You got bipolar, and then you got ADD, you got ADHD going on, and then
you got the PTSD.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really I have a few friends, God bless them, that are vets, and I make sure I go up anytime I see anyone, any sort of a tattoo, if they have a Marine Corps emblem tattoo, anything, I go up and thank them for their service.
Absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
And we want to. I mean, we're trying to help them and let them know that we're right there with them. We're right behind them. So, I just want to let also speak about that too. People, the vets are really going through.
Yeah, we've got to take care of these people.
Yeah.
They're on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's insane the way that they're treated. I mean, I can't even I just don't get it. And they put this guy in he is the head of it, and he turned out to be like a fiasco.
Yeah,
from what I understand.
Yeah, it's money's everything. It's gotten worse than better. It's almost like they. Go ahead.
Do you guys like help them get grants as well?
That's what we're trying to start the nonprofit, trying to basically just incorporate and there's some people scholarships, some facilities are willing to work with us. We have a few, like I said, Cal Coast is a great place. We work, like Nick said, we have a lot of relationships, but we work intimately with a few places, like places that I would send immediate family, friends, people I love there because I know that they get the correct help. And up in LA, Malibu Hills is a great place as well. Prominence, that's where we also work with. But the places we work with, we're on the same team. A lot of these other facilities are, they don't care. All they want is money. So
obviously,
all these, the places
a lot
we
of
work
those
with,
are hurting right now. Like I hear Promises has got 5 people.
Yeah.
In the facility, which is fine by me.
Yeah, of course.
Because they're getting $60,000 a month, or is it 80 now?
I think it's around there. Yeah, damn near 100,000 a month.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's just. Are you serious? Really?
It's sick. But we work with the places that have the moral, the ethics, the right goal in mind. We're on the same team. So if we come up with a good idea to get these vets some help, the places are going to be on board without a doubt. We already mentioned it to them. So it's we're battling. Not only are we battling addiction and alcoholism, we're also battling the corrupt people out there that are in this profession for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So we're fighting kind of 2 wars here. But as long as we have the good people on our side, we we'll overcome it sooner or later.
Absolutely. You guys are doing great work, man. It's incredible. It just, and I'm glad that I finally got you guys on.
Yeah, right. I was coming up from Orange County, and my dog threw up in the car and everything.
Oh, no way.
Over. Yeah, he's a little guy. He's over at Nick's place now. I rescued a 6-month-old lab pit mix. He's awesome.
Really?
Nick's seen him. Yeah, Nick's.
Yeah, he pukes on my couch too. We still love him though.
He gets too excited. He eats too fast. Yeah,
well, he eats too fast. Rescue dogs are stressed to the max.
Yeah, he is.
They are. Yeah,
but he's good, man. He's a hell of a dog, man. He's a great dog. I couldn't ask for anything better. So,
okay, we're going to take a little break and we'll be right back.
I would like to take a moment and talk to you about the Villa Treatment Center. Their integrated substance abuse and dual diagnoses program rests on foundational principles of personal responsibility, structure, and service. Whether you are at the beginning of your recovery journey or farther along the road, the Villa Treatment Center offers an individual plan to suit all of your recovery needs. Detoxification by doctors specializing in addiction medicine, residential treatment, transitional living, day treatment, and full care outpatient services are available. Please call 818-505-6900 for further information. That's 818-505-6900 and begin your recovery now. The website for Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio is www.latalkradio.com. Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio is on Channel 1. We are broadcasting live from our studios every Sunday at 6 p.m. West Coast time. All of our shows are archived on the www.latalkradio.com site and can be accessed 24/7. Our call number is 323-203-0815. That's 323-203-0815. And now back to our show.
Well, we're back. I want to thank Nick and Patrick for coming, and man, this is one of the better shows. I've had 2 guys. We've all been through the same scenario, and we know what's going on out there. And it's hard for people, the audience and people that don't understand the mechanics of this, how bad it really is, man. I mean, you look into these people, man, their eyes, and you see the hopelessness that we used to see when we were looking in the mirror, and it just rips your heart out. Yeah. It's just horrible. And, I'm proud of both of you guys. You're doing a great job. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Yeah, really.
Thank you.
And you guys can come back anytime you want.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, our mission is to provide a safe platform for those who are suffering from various forms of addiction. We're just people willing to listen and offer suggestions to help those in crises. We're not people that are degreed in this. We're just addicts and alcoholics that have had the shit beaten out of us. Most of that ass kicking was done to ourselves by ourselves, and we got a break. And it's a priceless gift. And with that, I will leave you with the wisdom of the late great John Flynn.
Disappointment Disappointment is the caboose on the train of expectation. Anything you want from anybody, you give them what you want from them. It's the only way you're going to get it. Life is about giving, not getting. Day at a time.
Miss you, John. Thank you for listening. Good night and good luck.
You're listening to Life Repair Recovery Talk Radio with Rick Thompson, only on LA Talk Radio.